Okay, up for number 47 quiz and some of the scores for last week. Now, some of the people hasn't given me them. Didn't get Jean and Davies, but I got their Christmas score thing. Stephen Rita got a 29. They were tops last week, and Billy and Margaret got a 28. There's always usually be a point between them too. Jerry Smith, you got a 19. Carlin and Brian got a 23. That was in the Christmas one. Haven't got their score. I don't think I've done last week's one yet. And Josie and Bill told me on the phone, but I've nothing on text to say what it was. I think it was 26, but there was nothing on the phone. Jane and Davey, they got about 27 for the Christmas one as well. So there's all big scores for the top ones this week. Right, we're going to go on to quiz 27. Just took the Justy Springfield CDs off there. Now I don't know what to do with my shelf. Don't know. Right, number one. I'm going to keep that for the last. That's a tough one. Keep that for the last. Right, question one, round one. Which animal's name means little man in armour? Which animal's name means little man in armour? Number two. Two Bond girls passed away in 2020. They were Honor Blackman and Diana Rigg. But them two also starred in which British TV series? Okay, so Honor Blackman and Diana Rigg passed away in 2020. Which British 60s TV show did they also appear in? Number three. Since 1932, Mars has based its factory in which English town? Okay, since 1932, Mars has based its factory in which English town? Number four, wee music one. In the song Joy to the World, Three Dog Night, what was the name of the bullfrog? Okay, in the song Joy to the World by Three Dog Night, what was the name of the bullfrog? Number five. Football. Which football league team has four letters all the same in their one word name? Okay, so which football league team has four letters all the same in their one word name? It's like a tongue twister. Very icy outside. Number six. In which body of water is the Bermuda Triangle? Okay, that was number six. In which body of water is the Bermuda Triangle? Okay, number seven. What do you call a person who makes barrels? What do you call a person who makes barrels? And number eight. What are the two largest islands belonging to Italy? What's the two largest islands belonging to Italy? Right, that's your first round over. You want to pause that and go back on some of them? I'm going to give you the answers to round one. Here we go. Which animal's name means little man in armour? Armadillo. Two Bond girls passed away in 2020. They were in the British 60s TV show The Avengers. And Mars has based its factory in which English town since 1932? Slough. In the song Joy to the World, what was the name of the bullfrog? Jeremiah. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. And which football league team has four letters of all the same in their one word name? Millwall, 4 L's in their 8-letter name. 50% of letters all the same. And which body of water is a Bermuda Triangle? Atlantic Ocean. And what do you call a person who makes barrels? A cooper. And what's the largest two islands belonging to Italy? Sardinia and Sicily. Right, we're going to move on to round two, which is wee mixture, wee general one. Who wrote comedy sketches under the name Gerald Whaley? Who wrote comedy sketches for people under the name Gerald Whaley? Number two. In which country is the Mekong Delta In which country is the Mekong Delta? Number 3. What's the meaning of the Russian word pravda? What's the meaning of the Russian word pravda? Number 4. What is a polyglot? What is a polyglot? And number 5. What was Queen Mary of England's nickname? What was Queen Mary of England's nickname? Here's a tough one of the round. I love you right up to the moon and back is a quote from which children's book? I love you right up to the moon and back is a quote from which children's book? Number 7. Which English king was nicknamed the Unready? Which English king was nicknamed the Unready? Number 8. Who won Best Actor Oscar for playing Christy Brown in the 1989 film My Left Foot? Okay, so who won Best Actor Oscar for playing Christy Brown in the 1989 movie My Left Foot? Okay, if you want to go over them, some of them again if you want. If not, pause it. I'm going to give you the answers. Who wrote comedy sketches under the name Gerald Whaley? Ronnie Barker. In which country is the Mekong Delta? Vietnam. And what is the meaning of the Russian word pravda? Truth. And what's a polyglot? Someone who can speak several languages. And what was Queen Mary of England's nickname? Bloody Mary. I love you right up to the moon and back is a quote from which children's book? Guess how much I love you. And which English king was nicknamed the Unready? Ethelred. He won the Best Actor Oscar for playing Christy Brown in the 1989 movie My Left Foot? Daniel Day-Lewis. Right, all them scores up. I'm expecting the high 20s again this week. If somebody breaks 30, it'll be good. But some of the rounds mightn't suit people, so it mightn't be a 30. There could be, but high 20s. But happy enough if people gets around the 27 mark of the good. Movie songs. These are all songs from famous movies. I want you to tell me the name of the movie. Number 1, The Windmills of Your Mind by Noel Harrison. The Windmills of Your Mind. Number 2, Mrs. Robinson. Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. Some of them's easy and you'll sing a couple of wee tricky ones there. Number 3, She by Elvis Costello. She by Elvis Costello. Not Charles Aznavour, but Elvis Costello. Number 4, Up Where We Belong, Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes. Up Where We Belong, Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes. Number 5, It Must Have Been Love, Roxette. Number 5, It Must Have Been Love by Roxette. What's the movie? This could get a couple of us here. Great wee song by Simple Minds. Don't You Forget About Me. Okay, Don't You Forget About Me. What was the movie? Number 7, The Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler. Wind Beneath My Wings, Bette Midler. What's the movie? Here's another wee tricky one, might get a couple of yous. Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. Had his album, I think he's some great wee hits. Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. What was the movie? Okay, that's the end of round 3. I'm going to pause that and go back over some of them. I'm going to give you the answers. Number 1, The Windmills of Your Mind by Noel Harrison. The Thomas Crown Affair. Mrs. Robinson, Simon and Garfunkel. The Graduate. She by Elvis Costello. Notting Hill. Up Where We Belong, Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes, An Officer and a Gentleman. Number 5, It Must Have Been Love, Roxette, from Pretty Woman. Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds. This is a tough one all around, one of the 2 tough ones all around. It's The Breakfast Club. Number 7, Wind Beneath My Wings, Bette Midler, Beaches. Number 8, Old Time Rock and Roll, Bob Seger. Risky Business, Tom Cruise, one of the I think it's the first time I remember seeing Tom Cruise in a film. Probably more, but it's the first time I've seen him. Risky Business, free comedy. Okay, these are, let's see. I could call it the one-hit wonder rounds. I don't think I've had many more than 2 anyway. So these are famous songs, but who were they that had these hits? Number 1, To Know Him Is To Love Him. To know him is to love him. Name the singer or the group. Number 2, be 70s number. Do It Again. Do It Again. Who was the singer or the group? Number 3, Softly Whispering I Love You. Softly Whispering I Love You. Number 4, Spirit in the Sky, the original from the 60s. Who sang it? Number 5, Norway song that I heard in the 70s that I liked, and I don't think she was a one-hit wonder, but this was one of her hits that actually got into the top 20 or something. She was Le Continental. Le Continental. It's a song about a dance called The Continental. Who sang it? Number 6, Afternoon Delight. Afternoon Delight. Name the singer of the group. Here's a tough one. I like this. Is when I was going on the point. This is one of the, you get question colours and all. This is one of my colours. If I've come up, name the song, we had colour in it. This was my song. It was, but it didn't come up. Usual. Jackie Blue. Who sung Jackie Blue? What was the singer of the group that had a hit with Jackie Blue? Came across it today watching a series. It was a series on Netflix called Ozark, and it was about money laundering. This people got this guy in to launder all the drug money or whatever the money, and they played this song in it. But who sang it? Number 8, Oh Laurie, L-O-R-I, Oh Laurie. Another big hit in the 70s, but who was the group or the singers? Right, where are we at? 13 and a half minutes. Right, so if you want to go back on some of them, I'm going to give you the answers, right? Number 1, To Know Him Is To Love Him. It was a group, it was the Teddy Bears. The Teddy Bears. Number 2, Lydia probably won't remember this one, but anybody that likes the 60s, 70s, all the 70s area would get it, maybe. Do It Again. She was an actress singer. It was Raffaella Cara. Raffaella Cara. Don't know where she was, Spanish or Italian or something, probably Spanish or something. Softly Whispering I Love You. The Congregation. Number 4, Spirit in the Sky. The original, it was Norman Greenbaum. The Continental was a song by a girl singer. It was Maureen McGovern. Maureen McGovern. Good wee song. Maureen McGovern. Afternoon Delight. I know Stephen McCook at this one. It was the Starland Vocal Band. The Starland Vocal Band. This is a tough one. I don't think anybody might get this one because that was my wee secret weapon. If it came up in pointless, we had blue on the question, but it didn't come up. It was Jackie Blue. It was by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Probably that's why it was an Ozark, because they were the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Number 8, Oh Laurie. It was Elise, or the Elise Brothers. Elise. It's going to be number 2. All one-hit wonders. Okay, all them scores up. Hopefully you'll be hitting the low 20s here. And you'll make the tops, hit the high 20s with this round coming up. Okay, the last round, and this country is now called Eswatini, Eswatini. What was it formerly known as? You'll probably all know it by the other name. I didn't even know till I read it there the other day. Eswatini it is now called, but what was it formerly known as? Eswatini. Number 2, The Mystery of Edwin Drood was the last book by who? Okay, the last work. The Mystery of Edwin Drood was the last work by who? I was going to ask you for just one name, but change my mind since it's the last round. You need to have the 2 names. What are the first 2 names of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Okay, so what was their Christian names? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Number 4, what was the nickname of Jim Morrison, the frontman of the Doors? What was the nickname of Jim Morrison, the frontman of the Doors? And number 5, which medical service began in Australia in 1928? Which medical service began in Australia in 1928? And what colour of berry is worn by the United Nations peacekeeping force? Which colour of berry is worn by the United Nations peacekeeping force? Okay, I'm looking for the century here. What century did this happen? Just a century. I was going to ask you for 50 years near, but I'm just being generous. What century would this happen? Okay, what century was the Peasants' Revolt with Wat Tyler? It ended on the same year when the mayor of the town stabbed Wat Tyler. He died and things got under control. Even it could have got out of control whenever that happened, but it didn't. Sort of worked and got the crowd under control when the mayor stabbed Wat Tyler and Wat Tyler died. But what was the century? Name the century. Okay, number 8. What is the first book of the Bible alphabetically? Okay, what is the first book of the Bible alphabetically? I talked to my manager here because he's into the Bible now, just to get his confirmation, and he thought it was this. But when he got his Bible out and looked, it wasn't. So I'm going to tell you that it's not Acts. It's not Acts, because it's down on his Bible as the Acts of the Apostles. So it's not accepting Acts. So what's the first book of the Bible alphabetically? Okay, get your answers down. If you want to go over some of them, and we're going to give you the answers out to round 5, the final round, and let me know how you got on. If you can, text somebody and get somebody to text me or message me, because sometimes when you tell me on the phone, I can't remember, because it's been about a week ago and I can't remember. So if it's on text, I can always look it up in the text. Stephen always sends me through in the text, but I don't think John and Dawn didn't get their score for John and Dawn, got their Christmas one, but I didn't get their score for last week, probably because I've done a quick one and everybody was busy over Christmas, so some people have been too busy, maybe haven't done it yet. So I know John and Dawn's in amongst the big hitting teams now up at the top there, so he's all doing well. Okay, answers. This country is now called Eswatini. What is it formerly known as? Swaziland. Swaziland. The Mystery of Edwin Drood was the last work by who? Charles Dickens. And what are the 2 first names of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? They were Henry Jekyll and Edward Hyde. And what was the name of Jim Morrison? What was the nickname of Jim Morrison, the frontman of the Doors? He was the Lizard King, known as the Lizard King. in which medical service began in Australia in 1928? The Flying Doctor. And what colour of beret is worn by the United Nations Peacekeeping Force? Blue. It's light blue. If you write blue, you can take yourself a point. And what century was a peasants' revolt with Wat Tyler? It ended in the same year when the mayor stabbed Wat Tyler and he died. So they got things under control in the 14th century. It was 1381. 1381 that happened, the peasants' revolt. So that's the 14th century. What's the first book of the Bible? Alphabetically. It wasn't Acts, as I said, that's down as the Acts of the Apostles. It's Amos. Amos. All them scores up. And if you remember, text me. Don't tell me over the phone because I'll probably forget and I probably haven't got a pen on me. So let me know your scores for next week. And good luck to everybody. Oh, and big shout out to Billy Gray. He's having his operation today. I don't know what time at. He's one of the founding members of the other team. Come up with the name too. So everybody, good luck to Billy, and let you know how you get on. Okay, see you next week.